A cozy reunion, a dreamy sleep story for adults. Hello, and welcome. You're seeking a comforting tale that will gently lull you to sleep. You're in the perfect spot. Tonight I will take you on a serene journey to a quaint little town, where love ignites amidst the winter chill. We'll follow Emma as she strolls through streets blanketed in snow, illuminated by the warm glow of lanterns in shop windows. Together, we'll explore the charm of small-town life filled with warmth and affection. Most importantly, we'll witness Emma's heart open up to a man who embodies kindness, love, and respect. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to find serenity in the space around you. Position yourself comfortably, allowing your body to sink into the mattress beneath you. Can you feel the gentle embrace of the soft pillow cradling your head, offering you a safe retreat after a long day? Often life keeps us too busy to nurture ourselves. But right now, there's ample time for self-care. There's no hurry, no expectations, just you being kind to yourself. Imagine a warm light enveloping your body. Visualize it in any color you desire. Take a moment to truly see this light surrounding you. As it begins to move, pay attention to how your body responds. Picture this light starting at your head. Are your facial muscles relaxed, or do they feel tight? Is your jaw clenched or soft? Whatever tension you're holding in your face, you have the power to release it. Envision that light drawing away the tension from your jaw, cheeks, and forehead, leaving relaxation in its wake. Now, let that light travel down your shoulders and arms. Feel it extend from the tips of your fingers on your left hand to the tips of your fingers on your right. As the light flows toward your chest, allow it to untangle any stress residing there, lifting the heaviness away. Follow that light down to your hips and legs, soothing every weary muscle along the way. Imagine it moving down your thighs, through your calves, and reaching the tips of your toes. With your body now unburdened, and the day's worries behind you, let's begin our story. Emma's breath fogged the window of the train. Outside, the landscape of majestic mountains and tall pines drifted by, shrouded in a thick coat of snow. The clouds overhead hung low and heavy, promising a fresh snowfall. This time of year, her hometown seemed to be embraced by winter's touch nearly every day. If she closed her eyes, she could easily recall every childhood snow day spent in this place, how she'd wake up to the sound of snowplows clearing the roads, the warmth of her blankets wrapping around her, like a cozy hug. She could picture herself peeking out at the world transformed by a graceful layer of white, softening the harsh edges of reality, and wrapping everything in tranquility. As the train rattled on, Emma surrendered to the soothing rhythm, the sound becoming a gentle lullaby urging her to drift off. The door beside her swung open, interrupting her reverie. A conductor in a smart uniform handed her a steaming cup of hot cocoa, just as she had ordered. She took a sip, allowing the sweetness to envelop her senses and warm her from within. But it wasn't just the cocoa that arrived. A familiar face settled across from her. He had deep brown skin and kind eyes that sparkled like amber. In that moment, recognition washed over her. Growing up in a small town, everyone was connected, and she felt an overwhelming sense of nostalgia as their eyes met. It was a feeling she missed about Maplewood, a warmth, a community filled with love and familiarity. And at the center of that feeling was Liam, the boy next door. Liam was the one she'd chased fireflies with on balmy summer evenings, the one who'd shared laughter and dreams under the starry skies. They'd wander through meadows, capturing fireflies in jars, lying in the grass, marveling at the glow of the bugs against the backdrop of the cosmos. In the autumn they'd explore the orchards, their laughter mingling with the crisp air as they got lost in rows of pumpkins and apples. When winter came, they'd glide across the frozen pond, the chill of the breeze brushing their cheeks as they skated, their laughter ringing out in the stillness. Then spring would arrive, and they'd venture outside to greet the world awakening from its slumber, catching tadpoles and listening to the gentle calls of frogs in the nearby streams. Their friendship was a tapestry of shared moments, filled with innocence and joy. They'd experienced their first crush, their first kiss, and even went to prom together. But time took them in different directions when she left for college, creating a gap in their lives. As they locked eyes again, it felt like no time had passed. Behind those warm eyes, she saw the same kindness that had filled her heart all those years ago. They embraced tightly, a hug that felt like coming home. Liam asked her how she found life in the city, and she hesitated, unsure how to convey her feelings. She enjoyed the vibrancy and possibilities of city life, the energy that pulsed through its streets. Yet she couldn't shake the feeling that something essential was missing. She longed for the fresh air, the embrace of the trees, and the familiarity of her childhood bakery, where everyone knew her name. As they continued to talk, Emma shared her truth, and Liam revealed his own. He had taken over his father's woodworking shop after graduation, a job he loved, yet he yearned to explore, to travel more and soak up the sun in different places. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, as if no time had passed, drawing them closer together with every shared word. The train rounded a bend, revealing the breathtaking view of Maplewood Valley. Emma's breath caught in her throat, replaced by a rush of fond memories. Nestled in a serene valley, Maplewood was embraced by towering mountains, their peaks brushed with snow. The evergreen trees adorned the hills, creating a stunning contrast against the white backdrop. A river meandered through the valley, flowing even in winter, its surface dotted with icy patches, a haven for deer seeking refreshment in the cold. Emma's gaze danced over the familiar landscape, where farms dotted the countryside, their rustic fences winding through the hills. The heart of the town lay along the river, a quaint New England community, with cobblestone streets and charming brick buildings. Victorian homes stood proudly, their colors vibrant against the winter sky, while the steeples of old churches watched over the town, like gentle guardians. It was a scene straight from a dream, a place that took her breath away every time. "Is it good to be back?" Liam asked, his eyes filled with understanding. She wiped a tear from her cheek and nodded. "It's wonderful to be home." As the train pulled into the station, Emma's heart swelled at the sight of festive decorations adorning the building, transforming it into a holiday wonderland. Her parents were there to greet them, and she could see the excitement in her mother's eyes at the sight of them together. Her mother had always hoped they would end up together, often urging Emma to check in on Liam during their calls. Now she didn't have to wait. As they prepared to leave, Emma handed Liam a slip of paper with her number, a simple gesture that felt like the beginning of something beautiful. After a hearty meal at her childhood home, Emma slipped away to her old room, exhausted from the day's events. But before settling in, she paused by the window, her fingers tracing the familiar walls, each knot and creak a reminder of her childhood. Outside, the street glowed under the warm light of the street lamps, the snow shimmering like diamonds. In the house across the way, a single light flickered on. She knew that light well. It was the same one they'd used to send secret messages back and forth with flashlights as kids. As she reminisced, a soft glow flashed from the window. There was Liam, his silhouette visible against the light, his smile evident even from a distance. He sent her a message, and she wrote down each letter in her notebook. The sound of the pencil gliding over the page, a comforting melody in the stillness of the night. "I missed you," the message read. Those simple words stirred something deep within her, a realization that she had longed for this connection, this part of her life that felt so right. She searched for her flashlight, finding it exactly where she had left it all those years ago. "I missed you," she replied, feeling like a child again, as anticipation filled the air. The next message brightened her heart. Minnie-ATWT. It was a childhood code, one they had created for longer messages. It meant, "Meet me at the willow tree." Emma's heart raced as she nodded in excitement. She pulled on a warm sweater and boots, feeling the thrill of sneaking out to meet him under the cover of night. Stepping outside, the brisk air filled her lungs, the scent of pine trees invigorating her spirit. With each step, the crunch of snow beneath her boots echoed in the stillness, a soothing reminder of her childhood adventures, sledding under stars and sharing secrets beneath the willow tree. The willow stood at the end of the neighborhood, nestled in a small grove, far from the noise of the world. The trees surrounding it sparkled with a delicate layer of frost, each branch glistening in the moonlight. But it was the willow that captured her heart. Towering and majestic, its branches bowed under the weight of the snow, resembling an enchanting sculpture of ice. Emma paused, marveling at the beauty before her. In that moment, she recognized the richness of her childhood, filled with memories of ice-covered willows and sunlit streams. Stepping into the willow's embrace, she parted the branches to reveal the cozy nook beneath. There, a bench awaited, crafted by her and Liam in their youth. She brushed off the snow, revealing the words etched into the wood. Emma and Liam were here. A smile spread across her face as she realized life had brought them back to this cherished place. Liam stepped into the willow beside her, his eyes alight with warmth. "I see you remember our code," he said, his voice calming her heart. He handed her a cup, and as the familiar aroma filled her senses, she grinned. "Our special hot chocolate." They had spent countless winter nights perfecting their recipe, even sending it to Santa in hopes of a magical response. As she sipped, nostalgia washed over her, warming her from the inside out. The sweetness enveloped her, a delightful reminder of childhood joy. Liam chuckled. "I followed the recipe exactly. I promise." Emma laughed, swirling her cup. "Oh, I believe you. We were just kids, after all." As laughter faded, they fell into a comfortable silence, a feeling of home enveloping them. Under the icy branches of the willow, surrounded by moonlight, Emma felt a deep connection with Liam, a bond she hadn't experienced in years. They shared stories for hours, their breaths forming clouds in the cold night air, their hands intertwining with gentle touches. Their conversation flowed like the river that ran through town, naturally, effortlessly, filled with warmth and familiarity. Emma found herself lost in his honey-colored eyes, sparkling with kindness and joy. As the night grew colder, she didn't notice her shivering until Liam offered his jacket. She hesitated, but as he wrapped it around her shoulders, she melted at his touch. They walked home together, just like old times, reluctant to part ways as they reached their doors. But Emma made a decision that night. After years of feeling incomplete, she didn't want to go back to that emptiness. Snowflakes began to fall around them, large and soft, transforming the world into a magical winter wonderland. They gazed up at the sky, reveling in the beauty of the moment, feeling like children again. Emma's gaze returned to Liam, watching the wonder in his eyes as he marveled at the snowfall. It filled her heart with love and courage. She leaned in slowly, wrapping her arms around him, pressing her lips gently against his. In that moment, they melted into each other, embracing the years of unspoken love in a single kiss. When they finally pulled away, a shared understanding passed between them, a promise that Liam would be a part of her life for a long time. That night, Emma snuggled into her childhood bed, feeling a sense of fulfillment she had always yearned for. Sleep came easily, her dreams filled with warmth and peace. In the weeks that followed, Emma and Liam created countless memories together. They danced on cobblestone streets, shared meals at their favorite childhood spots, and laughed like they were kids again. At night, they held each other close, whispering their dreams for the future. Emma envisioned a life filled with love and happiness, one she was certain she could build with Liam. Together, they sought a balance between city life and the tranquility of nature, and they knew just how to find it. They renovated an RV, ready to embrace the open road. Emma would work remotely, nestled on their cozy couch as they traveled through mountains and towns. Liam would freelance, following the wind wherever it led. As they drove away from Maplewood, Emma held Liam's hand, glancing back at the town that had shaped them. The glowing lights, the comforting farms, and the towering church steeples filled her with gratitude for the life they had shared. The last thing she saw was the silhouette of the willow tree, shimmering in the sunlight, a beacon of their cherished memories. Tears welled in her eyes as it faded from view, but she knew there would be more willows in their journey, a promise of adventure and love wherever they traveled together. I hope this story has guided you to a night of soothing sleep. Please join me again tomorrow for another comforting tale. Until then, sweet dreams.